Tonight, tragedy in Connecticut.
How could somebody do this? It's sickening.
26 people killed, 20 of them pure, innocent children.
There's 20 parents that were just told that their children are dead.
A tight-knit community is trying to understand.
Everybody was like crying and stuff.
How and why someone would open fire inside an elementary school, taking the lives of so many children.
Beautiful children had their life taken away from them.
Special coverage of the tragedy in Connecticut starts right now.
Good evening, I'm Kylie Conway.
And I'm Brent Hunsaker. The tragedy today was in Newtown, Connecticut. Here's what we're learning tonight. A 20-year-old man shot and killed his mother, a kindergarten teacher, then went to her school and opened fire on her young students. Tonight, the nation is grieving the massacre of 20 children and 7 adults. The Night Team's Mark Greenblatt is in Newtown with the developing details.
Evil visited this community today.
A quaint New England suburb
I'm still terrified. I think I'm still in shock.
became a scene of horror. A gunman identified as 20-year-old Adam Lanza, shown here in 2005, barged into Sandy Hook Elementary School and began shooting.
Chaos. Complete chaos. Nobody knew where anyone was.
Kids were crying, not really like screaming, but they're all huddling together.
Teachers rushed to shepherd the young children to safety. They were told to close their eyes on the way out.
We all put our hands on other people's shoulders, and our teacher held the first person's hand, and she let us out.
One teacher spoke exclusively to ABC's Diane Sawyer.
I said, I need you to know that I love you all very much and that it's going to be okay, because I thought that was the last thing they were ever going to hear. I thought we were all going to die.
As the first alarms went up,
All units, the individual that I have on the phone is continuing to hear what he believes to be gunfire.
a small army of heavily armed police swarmed the school, but not before the gunman had taken his toll.
It's a horrific scene. Between our mutual experience, we've never seen anything like this.
All afternoon, desperate parents converged on this firehouse where the students were taken to safety. Some took their children home, others went away with unimaginable grief. And tonight, the victims were remembered at a candlelight vigil in Newtown.
Most troubling tonight is the fact that now CNN is reporting that this possibly could have been a murder-suicide pact between the son and mother, that the mother just days before had purchased all of the guns that were used in this horrible crime today. Again, this is speculation coming out of CNN tonight. It is still not confirmed by authorities, but if that is the case, it is most troubling. Now let's go back to Mr. Greenblatt, who is in Newtown, has been there all day. And what are you hearing about this? CNN tonight reporting the possibility, anyway, that mom could have had a hand in this because she was the one that purchased the guns.
Well, it'd be hard to say that mom had a hand in this, in the actual pulling of any of the triggers here in this case, but we're hearing that the mom had a lot of guns registered to her, or at least several guns registered to her. Police saying at this hour that they simply do not know if the guns that were used in this tragedy were the same ones that she had. Also, by the way, the father, who was divorced from the mom, also did have several legally registered firearms in his name. We don't know if any of those guns were used in this either.
And Mark, about the children now that survived this horrible event and may have seen, definitely heard things going on in their school, when are they supposed to go back to school? Will they stay away now until after the Christmas break?
You know, I got to tell you, the school has lost its principal. It has lost a teacher. It has lost many staff members. It has lost so many of these young children. That's got to be the last thing on their mind this evening, is when classes will reopen. Right now, this entire community is reeling. It is in shock. It is trying to heal somehow. But it's also coming together a little bit with those prayer vigils, that being the one silver lining here, as everybody trying to come together, trying to help each other somehow survive and make it to the next day.
And I can only imagine that they're also reaching out to those kids tonight with some sort of help and support in the way of counseling.
Well, that's true. You know, we've heard that counselors are coming in from all over the state to try to assist in this mass tragedy that's taken place. The survivors are truly just in a state of turmoil right now, not knowing what to do. They don't believe that this sort of thing could actually happen in such a peaceful young town as this, and yet it did. Back to you.
It did. Mark Greenblatt reporting live from Newtown, Connecticut tonight. Thank you, Mark.
Now a Utah connection to this tragedy in Connecticut. One of the innocent children killed was born in Ogden, and tonight friends and family of little Emily Parker are preparing to help her family. The night team's Christina Rendon is live here in studio with more on the young life cut short. Christina.
Well, Kylie, she was only 5 years old, but a loving big sister to 2 girls. Emily Parker is touching many people's hearts across the country and right here at home.
Love and prayers are pouring in for Emily Parker, a girl who had her whole life ahead of her. The 5-year-old was a native of Ogden, just like her parents, Robbie and Alyssa Parker. Friends say the family moved to Newtown, Connecticut last year. Emily, a kindergartner, was one of 20 students killed in the massacre at Sandy Hook Elementary.
Such a sweet little angel, and they're such a great family. It's just a really tragic loss.
Brad Schultz is a close friend to Emily's parents. He says today was a living nightmare for Robbie and Alyssa. The couple hoped their daughter was a survivor.
They weren't hearing any information throughout the day, so it was painful for that reason. And then just when the news came out, we just couldn't believe it. It was just so sad to hear.
This is the second tragedy for the Parker family. Emily's grandfather, Douglas Cottle, died after a bike crash in Wyoming 3 months ago. Today, Emily joined him in heaven.
They're going through a really difficult time, and so that's why my friend Alan Crosser and I thought it would be a great idea to put together this fund.
It's called the Emily Parker Fund on Facebook. Thousands are leaving condolences for the little girl. She's just one of many children who will be in the world's prayers as her parents grieve.
It just makes it all the more sad and difficult to realize what they might be going through. It's just really hard.
And we're told Emily will be brought back to Utah and laid to rest in Ogden. For more information on how you can help her, go to our website at abc4.com and click on the orange box. We're live in studio. Christina Rendon, ABC4 News 19.
And across our state tonight, people are shocked by this mass killing. And in one Sandy neighborhood, thanks to a mother, they're placing luminaries on their porch steps in remembrance. Sarah Cutler is just one mother with an idea.
Keep the memory alive of the children that passed on and the teachers that passed on. To remember the special children that we have that go to school.
Their 7-year-old little girl goes to Bellevue Elementary.
I just can't imagine her being in that situation. Just can't even imagine.
Sarah and her husband bought the candles, the bags,
and it's the least I can do.
And printed out a short explanation.
Please light this candle and place it in the bag on your porch tonight.
And then with friends.
This week has been terrible.
They delivered the luminaries door to door to their neighbors.
I don't know if you're aware of what happened today in Connecticut.
Oh, God, does that make you sick?
Inviting them to light a candle against the dark that has fallen upon us all.
I'll be lighting mine for a long time.
And as a parent, trying to explain a tragedy like what happened in Newtown is difficult. Tonight, we want to give you some advice on how you can talk to them if questions come up. The night team's Brian Carlson is live at the state capitol with what you can do. Brian.
Yeah, Kylie, if you're a parent and your kids see flags flying at half-staff today like this one here at Capitol Hill, or if they basically watch any of the news coverage out there, it may be tough to avoid talking to them about the shooting. So tonight we spoke to a psychologist to help to show you how to do it the right way. For parents, images like these may be hard to watch, much less how to explain today's school shooting to your own children.
Probably in a few days they will.
Stephanie Jacobson from West Jordan thought it was important she teach her 5 boys what happened.
They were pretty upset. They first said, well, what if that happened at our school? What would we do? So then we talked about it for a minute. We talked about some safety issues and some things that they could do.
It's exactly what psychologist Douglas Goldsmith says other parents should do too.
We've got to keep clear with our kids that this happened in another city and it's horrible, but out of hundreds of thousands of schools across the United States, this was one school. We've got to really keep the perspective.
Goldsmith recommends parents should teach their children what happened without becoming emotional. listen to concerns they might have, and reassure them it won't happen to them.
I would say to my child, Dad and I are here. Your principal's taking care of this. Your teachers are aware of how to keep your school safe. Everything's going to be okay on Monday morning, and we'll go with you to show you that.
Jacobson is glad she talked about it with her boys and thinks it's better they found out from her.
It's important that they know that things can happen, that it's kind of a mean world that we live in and the things that happen to our kids and in society, and so I think they needed to know.
Now, psychologists understand that this is a difficult topic for a lot of mothers and fathers out there. So if you're a parent who's overwhelmed by this idea, take as long as you need until you're calm and ready. And then psychologists say, have a simple conversation with your kids. Reporting live from Salt Lake City, Brian Carlson, ABC4 News Night Team.
And Brian, if anyone needs help talking to their children, or they just want to share their thoughts and feelings about the terrifying events that have unfolded today in Connecticut, there is help. The Unique Crisis Line is available for anyone. The number's on your screen. It's 801-587-3000. Again, that's 801-587-3000.
Many people have taken to social media expressing their grief and sadness over today's evil killings. Those here in Utah and across the country. On our ABC4 Facebook page, Nikki Ziegler announced, "Tonight, I will light a candle brightly in my front window to show my love and prayers from afar." Brian Bright responded to a post, "Too much senseless violence. Did everyone forget about peace and love?" Daniel Harding writes, "Thoughts and prayers out to the families that have been affected by this shooting. It's very sad." And Lisa Cummings touched on something many of us have thought today. Our public schools should be a safe place to learn. The #1 trending hashtag on Twitter right now is Pray for Newtown. Jacob Lusk tweeted, "Kiss your family and hold them tight. It could have been you." Zach's tweet focused on a painful idea. He writes, "What breaks my heart is the parents who will go back to their homes and see the Christmas presents that will never be opened." Even Google has posted a candle on its homepage with the message, "Our hearts are with the families and community of Newtown, Connecticut." If you'd like to share your thoughts and emotions, you can comment on our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/ABC4Utah.
You know, like all of you, us here at ABC4 share the pain of this tragic story. And we realize that sometimes the best words of hope and comfort come not from us, but from children. So here's a suggestion for parents and teachers. If your children would like to write letters to the kids at Sandy Hook Elementary, we'll deliver them for you. Just drop them off here at ABC4 or mail them to us, and as we gather them up, we'll forward the messages of love and support to the children of Newtown. You can find our address on our website, but here, I'll show it to you right there. I'll even read it to you. It's ABC4 at 2175 West, 1700 South, Salt Lake City, Utah. Our zip code is 84104. Coverage of the tragedy in Connecticut continues throughout the night on ABC4.com. And be sure to wake up for a special edition of Good Morning America and a team of reporters covering this senseless tragedy in Connecticut. That's starting right here on ABC4 at 6 a.m. Declaring it a travesty. The verdict is in for one man accused of killing a U of U scientist tonight, while some are outraged by the outcome.
Unanswered questions. Tonight, investigators hunt for what caused a house fire in Granite that killed 2 people.
Off the cliff. Tonight, the country on the brink of financial disaster. What no deal on Capitol Hill could mean for defense.
And coming up after the break, we're looking into the future, and the future is white.
Non-stop news on ABC4. Back in 90 seconds.